Welcome back to the channel, everybody. So today I'm going to be tying for you a midge I came up with about 4 or 5 years ago. I call it the MD Midge, and it's MD for mid descent. So a lot of midges that don't have beads are kind of slow descending, and ones that do have beads go down a lot faster, and this is kind of a mid descent one. And the reason why is, one, the hook, and two, the dubbing that I use. The dubbing I'm using is quick descent. I mean, you can call it quick descent, but I mean, it's just a little bit faster than no dubbing at all. But I wouldn't say that amount of dubbing on a midge would really make it go quick. So the hook that I'm going to tie this on is a 2488H, and the thread I'm using is some UTC Ultra Olive in 70. So I'm just going to get this started right up behind the eye. It's a pretty quick tie. I tried to get it to where all of it was going to be underneath, but didn't quite get there. I missed a step. So let me restart that. I'll just go quickly this time. I get it started right behind the eye, about 4, 5, 6 wraps. And then I'm going to go ahead and grab my micro tube in clear and start to wrap that. After about my third wrap, I'm going to pull it tight, keeping that tension on my thread because I don't want to pull it out, and then work my way back. The reason why I want to do my tubing on the way down is so that I don't have a thicker body than I'm really looking for. Then once I get around that bend, I'll just slowly bring this back up. I'll take care of that little dude right there. The rest of them will go up underneath my thread. He will disappear. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to evenly space, kind of spiral my tubing out a little bit. I'm only going to get about 4 wraps before I'm done. And I do that to let it catch the light, and then in between it won't have that shine to it. So that's just the way I did it. That's the way I'm going to go for it. It's the thought I had. I'm going to pull that micro tube to cut it off, and then I'm going to go in for my quick descent dub. And I'm going to be using the olive color. Now, I haven't really seen too many of these quick descent dubbings, and so when I saw it, I picked it up. And I'm only going to be using just a teeny tiny bit. And you got to be just a little bit careful with this stuff, because I mean, once you put it on, I mean, you want to find a dubbing that's more difficult to take off than superfine. Well, here you go. So always start out with just a little bit, and be very careful to not try and fray your tying thread whenever you wrap this on. And then make a nice little head right when you get to the end. Kind of give your bobbin a spin up so you don't use flat thread. And then we'll go ahead and start the knot. So there's 3 wraps. I'm gonna try and get 3 more right on top of those. I'm only gonna squeeze in 2, no big deal. I'm gonna grab my head cement. Ooh, too much. Give myself a little dab. Let that kind of soak in just a little bit. Gotta touch it with my fingers. If you have a feather, what you can do is you can just poke that feather down in there and in the eye and make sure there's no glue that will be there. And there you go. There's your MD Midge. You can kind of take that, pinch it a little bit to kind of pack it down a little more. But I like the little bit of shine that quick descent dubbing applies to the head. It's a little more muted than what you would find on a bead, and I like that. But it just gives just enough, and then those ridges will catch the light as well. And it's just a little more subtle than a bright wire or whatnot. Tie some up. Let me know how you do. You guys have a good one.